Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20+ years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we're going to show you alternator replacement on this 95 Accord V6, same as any 94 to 97 Accord V6. Tools you'll need are pretty straightforward, so various millimeter sockets, 10, 12, and 14. You'll need a ratchet with extension and a flexible joint. There's a couple of bolts that are a little tough to get to, so you'll need that joint, and you'll need a regular screwdriver.
You're going to start by disconnecting your negative battery terminal. Okay, to do an alternator on one of these Accords with the V6, you're going to start by actually loosening up this engine pulling hook, which involves removing this bolt right here and then loosening up this bolt right down here. Okay, both these bolts are 12 millimeter, and what you're going to need is a flexible joint. And this is a 3/8 drive wrench with a flexible joint on it. And so to get this, to loosen this one up, I'm going to kind of stick it down in here. Basically kind of work it down in there until I can get it on that bolt. There we go. Now it's on. Okay, I just need to loosen that up a couple turns. Let's see if I can get my wrench back out here. How do I work it in there? Okay. And then this bolt down here, I can just kind of stick I don't need the flexible joint, but I'll just stick it down in there. Bolt comes out pretty easy. And you'll probably want to use an extending magnet to reach down in there and grab the bolt. And kind of twist out of the way. Okay, so next you're going to actually remove this nut right down in here. Okay, it's a 12 millimeter nut. And then you're also going to remove this bolt here. It's a 14 millimeter bolt. For that 12 millimeter nut, I've got my flexible joint on the 12 millimeter socket. Reach in here, even with my big clunky hands I can get in there pretty easily. And you could probably get to this with just a smaller extension. Okay, and again, our magnet will come in handy since I dropped the bolt. Before you can get to that 14 millimeter bolt, it helps if you remove this 10 millimeter bolt here that just holds this wiring clip. Stick the bolt back in there so it doesn't get misplaced. Now I can remove my 14 millimeter bolt. Okay, now you can disconnect your power leads, and again, make sure you disconnected your battery cable. It's a 10 millimeter bolt here, or a nut. Pull that lead off. Okay, and then this lead, there's a little tab right in there. Use a screwdriver to help yourself out. Kind of push, there's a tab right here that locks it into place. Just kind of push down on that, and then work it out. And it can kind of stay there until you're ready to move the alternator around. Now you're going to loosen up this tensioner bolt, and you're going to loosen up this bracket bolt here too just a little bit. And these are 10 millimeter. I'm going to loosen up the bracket bolt just a little bit first. Okay, and now I'm going to loosen up this tensioner bolt, and as I do that, you can see that the tension comes off of the belt pretty good. And now I want to make this nice and loose, so I'm actually then going to slide it out. I'm actually going to pull that bolt assembly right out of there, and then I'm going to loosen it up all the way to the end in preparation for reinstalling it. Okay, and then once that's out of there, push the alternator down, take the belt off, and you probably want your screwdriver again to help you kind of pry the alternator up. Make sure you push this green connector out of there. Okay, and pull your alternator up and out. As you can see, the new alternator from 1A Auto, it's going to be the exact same as the old alternator. Same mounting points, and you can see it even has a sleeve in there. The pulley is the same, groove style pulley. And then the same connections on the back. So everything's going to bolt up and plug in just like the original. Now on this car, this alternator looks like it was replaced and it's still in good shape, so I'm going to reinstall this alternator back into the car. Okay, so I'm ready to install the alternator. I've got my two mounting bolts here. Okay, my alternator, a little bit of white grease. I'm just going to put this right on the insides of this mounting surface here, just so it's a little easier. And I'm going to drop my alternator down in. Okay, and so I push this end in, and now I'm going to try and work this bolt in. Pushing by hand doesn't work. We'll rubber mallet, won't hurt anything. Okay, till the bolt starts going through. Okay, so that bolt's pretty much in there. And now I take my adjusting screw and I work it down. I just kind of hook it in and then get it down to where the alternator is and then slide it in. So now I've got it down in the groove. Okay, so now I'll let it drop down. It's at the bottom. Okay, now push it through. And it's right through the alternator down here, so now I can work it right into the bracket where it belongs here. Take my 12mm nut that goes on the front. And just hopefully pretty dexterous hands here. I'll hold it on the back and get that nut started on there. I'll force this bolt into place.
You really want to push hard and twist with your ratchet here.
And I'm going to pull my fan belt up, make sure it's connected onto the crankshaft properly. It is. Okay, now I can tighten up my tensioning bolt. And proper tension is when the belt is tight and you can only push it about 1/4 of an inch. Just want to push real hard on it and then see how it pushes. There should be some play in it, but not too much. Now I'll tighten up my 12mm nut here. Tighten up my 14mm bolt. Connect my connection up top here. It's got a little slot that it goes in right there. Put the boot on over. Get my connector out of here. Okay, that's connected. And the only thing we have to do is gotta put this bolt back where it belongs. Okay, last but not least, let's put the bolt back in for the holder here. Use my magnet to put it in. Kind of start it a little bit. .12mm ratchet to tighten it up. And my flexi joint to get down in there. And tighten up the other. Now we can hook up the battery, start it up, make sure the battery light goes out. So on that right side, that red light is the battery light. Start up the car, the battery light's out. Your alternator replacement's all set.
We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.